Poverty Point, America's impossible city. 3,700 years ago, before the pyramids of Giza had finished settling into the desert sand, before Stonehenge was complete, a group of people with no farms, no domesticated animals, and no metal tools decided to build one of the largest structures in the Western Hemisphere. They had no wheels, no draft animals, no writing system we've ever found. And yet, in what is now rural northeastern Louisiana, they moved an estimated 30 million basket loads of earth by hand, enough dirt to fill roughly 140,000 modern dump trucks, to build a city-sized monument so precise, so massive, that for over a century after its rediscovery, archaeologists refused to believe hunter-gatherers could have built it at all. They were wrong, and the story of why reveals one of the strangest, most impressive, and most mysterious achievements in ancient North American history. Around 1700 BCE, along a bluff overlooking the Mississippi River floodplain, a society began construction on a site we now call Poverty Point, named centuries later, after a 19th century cotton plantation that sat unknowingly on top of it. Here's what makes this shocking. These builders were not farmers. There is no evidence of agriculture at the site. No corn, no domesticated crops of any kind. These were hunter-gatherers, living off fish, deer, nuts, and wild persimmons from one of the most fertile river valleys in North America. For most of the 20th century, that fact alone made archaeologists dismiss the idea that Poverty Point's builders organized the labor force necessary for monumental construction. The prevailing theory of the time was simple. Complex societies need agriculture. Farming creates surplus. Surplus creates hierarchy. Hierarchy creates the organized labor needed to build monuments. Hunter-gatherers, the thinking went, were too busy surviving day to day to build anything permanent. Poverty Point shattered that theory completely. At the center of the site sits Mound A, nicknamed the Bird Mound for its shape when viewed from above, though no one can confirm the builders intended a bird at all. It stands 72 feet tall and stretches 710 feet long. In 2013, archaeologists Tristram Kidder and Anthony Ortman examined the soil layers inside Mound A, expecting to find evidence that it was built gradually, over decades, maybe centuries, the way most ancient monuments were. They found the opposite. There was no erosion between soil layers, no weathering, no gaps in the construction sequence at all. The evidence pointed to something almost unbelievable. Mound A was built in 90 days or less. That meant a coordinated labor force of at least 3,000 people, moving basket after 50-pound basket of dirt, working in near-continuous shifts, with no written instructions, no formal government structure that archaeologists have identified, and finishing before the harvest season or the next flood could interrupt them. And Mound A wasn't the whole site. Surrounding it are 6 concentric, C-shaped earthen ridges, arranged in a half circle nearly 3/4 of a mile across, opening toward the river. The entire complex covers more than 900 acres. All told, researchers estimate the total earth-moving effort at Poverty Point took place over roughly 600 years. But key elements, like Mound A, were built in what amounts to a single, furious construction season. Whoever organized this had no chiefly title we can identify. No throne, no monuments to a named ruler, no royal tomb. In fact, and this is one of the strangest details of the entire site, archaeologists have found no human burials at Poverty Point at all. Not one. In a culture where mound building elsewhere in North America was almost always tied to honoring the dead, Poverty Point's mounds appear to have served an entirely different purpose, one we still don't fully understand. Here's where the story gets even stranger. Poverty Point sits in a region with almost no natural stone, and yet archaeologists have recovered tools and ornaments made from copper sourced near the Great Lakes, nearly 1,000 miles north, soapstone from the Appalachian foothills of Georgia and Alabama, flint and raw stone from the Ozark and Ouachita Mountains, and from the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. This wasn't casual trade. This was a continent-spanning network, funneling raw materials from half of what is now the eastern United States into a single point on the map, with no wheeled transport, no domesticated pack animals, and no rivers running directly to most of those source regions. To solve their own material shortage, Poverty Point's people invented something remarkably clever. Small baked clay balls, now called Poverty Point objects, used in place of stones for cooking. Heat them in a fire, drop them into an earth oven to cook meat slowly, and you've solved the problem of having no rocks to heat, using nothing but the mud beneath your feet. This was not a primitive society scraping by. This was an engineered solution to an engineered problem from people who had figured out how to import the entire eastern half of a continent's resources into their front yard. And then, around 1100 BCE, after roughly 6 centuries of activity, it stopped. Poverty Point was abandoned, not destroyed in war, not buried by flood, as far as the archaeological record shows. Simply left. The reasons remain genuinely unresolved. Some researchers point to environmental shifts along the Mississippi's ancient channels, changes that may have disrupted the resource base the site depended on. Others suggest a cultural or religious transformation, that whatever belief system justified this staggering communal effort simply lost its hold on the people who once organized around it. There is no consensus. And honestly, that's part of what keeps researchers coming back. The site was left to the forest. Centuries passed. The Mississippian mound-building cultures rose and fell elsewhere. Cahokia, more than 1,000 miles to the north, wouldn't even begin construction until over 2,000 years after Poverty Point was abandoned. In the 19th century, a cotton plantation was built on the land, its owners unknowingly farming atop one of the largest prehistoric earthworks in the hemisphere. The ridges, worn down by centuries of erosion and agriculture, no longer looked like anything more than gentle rises in a field. It wasn't until 1953, nearly 2 centuries after the plantation was established, that a U.S. Department of Agriculture soil surveyor flying overhead to photograph the land looked down and saw it. 6 perfect concentric arcs, invisible from the ground, unmistakable from the air. Archaeologist James Ford, working with Clarence Webb, began serious excavation soon after, publishing the first major study in 1956. What they uncovered forced a complete rewrite of how historians understood early American societies, proof that monumental ambition didn't require farms, kings, or writing. It only required people working together toward a purpose we still can't fully name. In 2014, UNESCO inscribed Poverty Point as a World Heritage Site, placing it alongside Stonehenge, the Great Pyramids, and the Grand Canyon on the list of humanity's most significant places. No one knows the name of a single person who lived at Poverty Point. No king, no priest, no architect. What we know is this. For 600 years, generation after generation of people, with nothing but baskets, bare hands, and an idea worth pursuing, built something that shouldn't have been possible, and then, just as deliberately, walked away from it. The dirt is still there. The questions still aren't answered. And somewhere in that silence, under a Louisiana sky, one of the oldest engineered mysteries in North America is still waiting for someone to explain why. If you enjoyed uncovering this forgotten chapter of history, subscribe to The Sketchy Way, because next week we're exploring another lost civilization that time almost erased.